Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale video, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how to win in Season 9. This is an old series of mine, teaching you guys some tips and tricks, and to be honest, with Season 9 coming out yesterday and a lot of new players jumping onto the game, there's actually going to be a lot of easy methods to win if you know the techniques. If you're new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest storyline and map change content. Ideally, that is my #1 source on my channel, but from time to time I do these requested videos where you guys ask for some tips and tricks from me, which I've done in this situation. The question of today's video for all you guys out there is, what season was your first event that you viewed / experienced in Fortnite Battle Royale? Let me know down in the comment section. The first event officially was in Season 3 when the small meteorites were falling from the sky, leading up to the huge meteorite in Season 4. So let me know what season you experienced your event in for the first time. But yes, let's get back into the video. This is an old technique of mine. I just want to put in at the start of the video because it's an easy way of getting your first win to unlock this lovely umbrella, which you can see a little clip of it on screen right now. But for those wondering what this technique is, it's called I class it as the AFK technique. It isn't really that. Basically what you do is you pull your glider straight away. As soon as the bus kicks you out, right at the end, you pull your glider and you glide towards the middle of the map. And then you need to make a decision where to land. Now, most of these locations that you're going to be landing at are on the edge of the map, and you've got to consider when landing at them. Obviously, less people are going to be landing at them because near enough every location in this season hasn't had a major change or a major point of eye other than retail and tilted, and obviously around Loot Lake with the slipstream. We'll talk more about the slipstream later on because that is a huge addition to the game which can allow for easy wins. So to easy pick spots, just go to the edge of the map, and what I'm doing here is obviously I found out where the circle formed. I kind of made a decision, you know, this location is in the circle. I know it's diving basically to where the bus came in, but it's worth it. You've kind of jumped out the other side, dived all the way to the other side of the map, and the advantage of this is you're landing late, which is good as well, because if no one's landed there, you just got to look out for that. The player count is going to be extremely low left. You can see here we've got 61 people left in the game, and I haven't landed yet, which is just insane. 60 people now, and it's going down. 59, so 58. So 58 people, 57 basically when I landed, and I've not even collected a weapon or looted anything up yet. So the number is going down extremely fast, and you're getting closer and closer to that victory royale, getting that #1, which is a very good technique which I use. And then obviously spend your time looting up this sector and understand, depending on what guns you prefer. Obviously the pump's being taken out of the game now, so you've got to pick the weapons that you prefer. If you haven't got much of a good aim, obviously you want to be going for stuff like the drum gun. And if you haven't got much ammo left, so say if you haven't got a lot of AR ammo, you want to be making a decision, do you really need to take that drum gun or not? Because the drum gun will drain your ammo pretty much every single fight. If you're spraying all of the drum gun at people, you're shooting off 50 bullets, and the accuracy on it isn't the best, but it's really overpowered, especially if you're not the best of other weapons. So one person actually ended up landing here at this point of interest. In this clip here, I just simply activate one of these new shadow stones, run into this guy, and then take him out using a pump shotgun. Nothing too major, easy kill. He doesn't even attempt to build. Talking about shotgun, the old pump shotgun is pretty good now because it's been buffed extremely, and obviously the new combat shotgun, to me, I'm not a fan of it, but if you can get the hang of it, it is actually pretty good if you can get your shots off and hit in the right spot. It depends what you prefer, but personally, I'll be rocking the pump every single time over them two shotguns. Now we're going to be discussing the baller a little bit. The baller is still in the meta. The baller is one of the best transport methods in the game. You can get height instantly just by using the grappler on it. You can kind of rotate anywhere you want. You can bail from fights. You can enter fights. You can third party, and that is basically what I'm doing in this game right here. So getting a baller with full health is key every single time, and once you've done that, you've got your baller and you're set. I've got a bunch of mats from not loads, but a decent amount of, well, I wouldn't even say decent, but an okay amount of mats just quickly from mining some stuff at the block. And in this gameplay here with me and Rain, this is a duo game, we both get ballers, and we use that as our main strategy to rotate around the map into the circle. Currently we already are in the circle because we landed at the block. We did that technique where we jump out really late, obviously then we landed at the block. Realized that we got a really good spot. There were a few people at the block. We managed to get a few weapons and take them out. We didn't get that much loot from it though, because we had to use a lot of kind of materials having build fights and stuff. And obviously once we were ready for that, once we got our materials and once we got a decent amount, Rain's definitely got more materials than me in this case, but that's just the style we play. Personally, I'm not the best Fortnite player. If you're a pro player watching this sort of video like Rain himself or someone else out there who's a pro player, you know, these tips are just really basic for you guys, because you guys can probably just enter any fight and win it near enough 90% of the time. But for the majority of Fortnite players, these tips do help. These are the sort of things that I do every game when I want to get a win, and they work. Simply what here we're doing is just rotating with ballers, just having a little bit of fun, swinging around off the trees, which just seems ridiculous, but we're looking out for our opponents. There's not really much else we can do here. The circle has formed, so we start heading to it, and we're just keeping our eyes out for anyone who's nearby. We've only 30 players left. We know we can engage in a fight. We've got full shield, which is really handy in this update. A decent amount of mats, like I said, it's not the best amount. Rain's definitely got more than me, but me having an okay enough just to kind of sit around the bottom of the build fight, let Rain do the build fighting because he's a much better player than me. And obviously, if you've got a better player than you on your team, you can get carried for these wins, but it's not the best way to get carried. For example, if I'm playing solo or playing with some subscribers, we just kind of split the mats equally, but depending on the situation you're in, you can play different styles. Usually Rain engages and I take like shots from the distance or head to the bottom of the build, kind of knock it down while they're build fighting Rain. Probably won't kill them, but it'll damage them a little bit. I'll be able to engage them with a little bit of a build fight as well, starting over, and it just usually works. It's just a little strategy we do sometimes. There's loads of little things you can do, but that's not the main aim of this video. This bit is all about rotating. You can see here me and Rain using the new kind of floating ship, the sky platforms, which are absolutely amazing, using them to get a bunch of height with the baller. And you can actually kind of rotate around it, just kind of sticking on it with the baller. We're currently in the circle, so all we're doing here is hanging around, looking out for enemies and stuff, and Rain looks like he's engaging with someone up here, so I'm trying to get involved with it. I'm having a little bit of issues with them because this is my first day on. I didn't upload this video yesterday. I'm doing the commentary the day after, but this is my one of my first or second games on the game. You can see here using the sky platforms is really cool to get a bunch of height, and we can see a team, and we said, you know, we may as well engage these because we've got full shield, we've got near enough a good amount of mats, and me and Rain go into this fight here expecting to win. Obviously we don't expect to lose a sort of fight when we've got this sort of materials and stuff. We had the advantage, we had the ballers and stuff. I knock one guy out, Rain knocks the other guy out, and it's an easy little win there. But third partying has to be probably one of the best things in Fortnite to do to get easy wins. I know it sounds really bad for me to say that, but it is one of the best strategies in the game. You know, third partying is just so useful because without the siphon where you get 50 health for every kill, you know, without that, people are being on low health most of the time in these sort of fights. And in this situation here, Rain gets attacked by a duo, and I can't really do much because I'm not the best builder. I try and edit him down. I do luckily save him there, but there are still another 2 people for me to take out. Now in this situation, I kind of just got myself in a good position using the shotgun. This was like my second time using this shotgun, so obviously my second game on, so not the best for me being able to aim with it. And I haven't really played Battle Royale properly since early or mid season 8, so I haven't got the best aim at the minute, but I'm trying my best to help Rain, and what I'm doing is I'm just positioning myself in good spots. This guy didn't have a clue what I was doing with the zip lining. So just outfool your players and stuff like that in certain situations. If you guys know you can do something which is going to fool the players, do it. In this situation here, I just run straight down and revive Rain. So later on in that game, again, we've positioned ourselves in a good spot. Managed to take out a guy, Rain managed to snipe him, managed to pick up a bit of his loot, and again, using the sky bases to rotate to a different spot. Perfect strategy. You can gain good height off this, and you can just rotate in. We can see some guys down here. It looks like Rain has gone in to use the campfire, and I'm kind of positioning myself in here to try and take a few guys out on top of it. So that was a really good strategy. They ended up going for Rain. I managed to shoot one a little bit. Got another one on me here, which looks like it's a different guy. So I get 2 shots off him with the shotgun. Lovely headshot there. It's quite good at getting headshots, this shotgun, if you can get a few shots on the head of it. And then another guy below me, try hitting him with my AR. That's the same guy, sorry. Try doing a little bit of damage to him. Then the other guy over there is with Rain. I go in and try and get a few shots off as I can, but Rain luckily manages to take him out. So a nice little kill there. And then at the final stage of this game, end game, you can basically decide how you want to play these end games. If you're a really good player or you've got a lot of confidence in your building or aiming, then obviously play a little bit more aggressive. But if you haven't got that confidence, just sit and wait for enemies, if that will be behind a tree or maybe even in a 1x1 or in some sort of structure which looks like it's been used but isn't currently in use. If you just have 1x1, like if you had a 1x1 there, people are going to know you're in there. But if you build some sort of build fight type structure that just looks absolutely awful, it looks like there was a fight there in the past, and hide in that, they're not going to expect you to be in that because they're probably going to expect you to rotate away from it. Just a little tip there, don't just build a 1x1. If you've got the spare mats or you see an old build fight location, go to that, because you know people aren't going to expect you to be there, whereas a 1x1 most people are. So again, I just take out the guy nice and easily, and we just get the victory royale in that game. So what I want to talk about now is landing at certain locations and using the slipstream. Mats are extremely important in this season, as if they were in any of the others. It's like they're not like never been important. Mats have always been important, but in this season, especially because of the drum gun. With the drum gun being introduced towards the end of season 8, obviously people are going to be spraying at you a lot, and you're going to require a decent amount of mats to protect yourself against that. So you're going to want to land in spots which aren't new, aren't populated, and be able to grind a bunch of mats. This is a spot which I have used since season 8 and probably is one of my favorite spots. You simply land on the pirate ship, take out all of these flagpole type things, make sure you're hitting the upper half and not the lower half, and it gives you about 100-ish mats per each one. Being able to get up to 1,000 mats, obviously on the normal standard solo, is very useful, so I'm doing that and aiming to do that. Once I've destroyed them 3, I will loot the rest of the ship and then switch on over to the cannon. So once the ship's been looted, I'll go in the cannon, fire up this direction, which is towards, I guess, towards the block, that direction. You fall on the tree, don't take any fall damage from that one, and then you can see here I'm just destroying these rocks, and these rocks get me a bunch of mats as well. Getting these mats is very helpful for getting the win, and it actually gets me the win here. So again, a useful technique, and again, I'm now positioning myself in a good spot to be able to rotate. Still grinding a few trees. Sometimes I knock down the trees, you know. Most of the time nowadays, unless you're playing in like the scrims and pro lobbies, it's alright knocking down the trees unless you are in a tough lobby. But most of the time you can knock down trees and get away with it. Again, what I'm doing here is getting the advantage and getting the height, using the sky base and the slipstream, rotating between them to kind of scout around, going up here to see if there is any loot. There isn't any, so it's not the end of the world, but luckily I've used this to kind of rotate around, which is really useful. Checking the map, understanding the rotations and where these slipstreams are. If you know where the sky bases and slipstreams are, you can use them to your advantage to actually gain higher speed than other players. I've got a few tips and tricks in the slipstream coming up in a second, which are very useful. There's actually a few techniques you can do to get more momentum, skip certain sections of the slipstream depending on where the circle is, and it can be quite useful. And it's easy to follow people and engage from them. For example, if someone does that and you see them and you've got the height on them, height is just so important in Fortnite, it always has been. They don't even know you're there. This guy didn't even know I attacked him. He didn't even build in time. You know, it was just an easy kill for me. Rotating out of the slipstream and getting myself in a perfect position to be able to eliminate that guy. It was just so handy, and having that height from the sky base as well, it's just very useful. And the sky bases are a recommend from me. You've just got to go to my recommend landed on them because they give you such an advantage, such a huge view of the map. Anyway, jumping into the slipstream, this gives you a really cool kind of transport mechanism, just like the ballers. You can also put ballers and stuff inside the slipstream, which is really cool as well. You know, you can use anything to transport, and I believe, from what I can tell, it might actually be quicker if you go in and out of the slipstream. So going up and out, so you go up and then go back into the slipstream. I've noticed this actually catches up people in the slipstream, which you'll see in a minute me use this mechanism, and also it stops you from being shot. So if you're rotating up and down like that, it makes them harder for the people to hit you. As long as you know where the slipstream is going, you can actually do this technique. It's something which I've been doing since the start, and I feel like it makes you move faster. I can't 100% confirm it, but I will kind of show you guys some evidence of that in a minute. Another thing that's really good about it as well, you can change direction at any point. It's basically like a huge train line around the map, which I really love about it. And obviously if the circle's coming and you need to get around quickly, this is a really cool method to use if you know how to. Also, this can be useful as well because it can give you the ability to glide. So if you need a quick momentum to carry on, maybe going towards salty, for example, in this situation, or through fatal, you want it to go that direction rather than the way I'm going, you can simply do that by building up to this, jumping into it and activating your glider, which is a very useful tip. So again, you can just see me here trying a few things out, just rotating around, making sure I don't get hit, keep going up and down. I don't want to get shot, so I'm doing that to help myself out a little bit, and I'm just following it around. There's not really much rush for me to kind of just skip sections or jump out. I'm looking for an opponent that potentially could be using this as well. I always check behind me as well from time to time, not all the time, but just to see if I'm being followed, because you just don't know in these slipstreams. But this is just such a hilarious moment which you guys will find quite funny coming up in a second for you guys. But there's actually an opponent which we actually meet in this situation, which is just really funny. You can see here I actually passed someone in a second, and this will show you guys some evidence that you can kind of gain speed by doing this technique any second now. So I'm going through the slipstream looking for somebody, and suddenly somebody else is using the slipstream. I see him and there he goes past me. So I'm kind of following him now. I'm thinking, you know, maybe this guy doesn't even realize, and because the slipstream is brand new to the game, a lot of people don't really know that you'll be following him. He probably just thought I'd go straight past him. Probably doesn't even think to check behind him. Obviously the better players would, but what you can see me doing here is checking behind me, trying to gain some speed on him, and I'm doing this technique here going in and out, and for some reason it does seem to be gaining on him, which is interesting to see that I am actually gaining on doing this technique. You can see here I've caught up with him quite well. I know he's kind of like going a little bit to the side, left and right all the time. Not so sure what he's doing, but you know, he decides to suddenly go to fatal. I have no idea why he went over here because it's out of the circle, but he decided to anyway. So I'm following him this way. He's not really doing much. He's kind of looting himself up around here, and I just take some shotgun shots off him again and take him out. He doesn't build, so it's an easy kill for me. But, you know, using them slipstreams is such a useful method and can come in handy for a lot of situations, for rotating, for catching up with people if you want to take someone out in the slipstream, for getting yourself out of the storm, and just basically positioning is key with these slipstreams. And a baller. It's a debatable which one's better, but obviously I'd probably go with the baller because you have more control, but the slipstream is an awesome method if you don't manage to find a baller. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel and you want to stick around for daily Fortnite content, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. I really cover a lot of map changes and a lot of tips and tricks from time to time. You know, you guys have been requesting one of these videos for a while, and with Season 9 being a brand new season and a few people wondering how can I unlock that umbrella quickly, you know, these tips and tricks will help you out. And here you can see me using the technique, rotating across like that. You can see that's a pretty cool mechanism. You can kind of cut straight across. I kind of avoided getting hit by the storm. Obviously, I could have probably gone around and not got hit by the storm, but if I was a little later, say 10 seconds behind, then I may have took damage from the storm if I stayed in the slipstream. But taking a shortcut across the corner, useful, really cool technique, and allows you to skip areas without actually taking down or taking damage from the storm, which is just really awesome. So great technique there, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video though. Don't forget to go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, stick around. Don't forget to go and support me in the item shop as well. If you'd like to support me, it really does show love and respect to the channel. You guys can also gain shoutouts in my map change and storyline videos, which I do every single week. So if you want to gain one of them shoutouts, feel free to tweet me with you using my code postboxpat. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and once again, this is postboxpat signing out.